Hi. So it seems like all of these topics have something in common, copywriting, obviously, because we're in that chapter. I'm doing works for hire. So works for hire means that, let's just put it this way. So when a creator of a work makes it and it's his and he can copyright it and he owns it and all of that jazz. Well, works for hire, it's a little different because it's a company usually that hires either an independent contractor, so somebody outside of their company, or somebody inside their company to create something that is completely owned by that company that hired them. So an example would be, let's say like somebody is doing a film and needs a movie soundtrack or a special song for something. They hire a musician that is not a part of their movie production, so that's like an independent contractor, to make this song. And they pay him a chunk of money, and now this company, this movie, owns this song, essentially. That's a good example. Or somebody inside the company. So like, let's say we have a software engineer for Microsoft that makes a software. Once he makes the software and Microsoft sees it and wants it, it is owned by Microsoft because he works for Microsoft and there's that agreement. So those two are two examples of that. But both parties, no matter what, have to agree that it's a works for hire contract. Otherwise, it's not going to be valid. So a lot of people apparently get confused. I mean, I could, because when I first saw this, I was like, wait, this kind of sounds like it could be like a ownership transfer, but it isn't. So ownership transfer is different from works for hire because if it's an ownership transfer, there's copyrighted, right, by the creator. So the creator creates music, he gets it copyrighted. The copyright only lasts a certain amount of years. Let's just say 20, 30 years. So what this owner does is he signs away his rights, his copyrights, and makes somebody else, transfers it to somebody else so they get the rights, so they get the money. But once that period is over, that copyright period of like 20, 30 years, the rights go back to the owner. So there's that. But with works for hire, that's not the case. Once this artist, work, creator, whoever makes this work and signs a contract for works for hire and gives them this, let's just say, music or whatever, or software, then it's completely owned by that company for eternity, for forever. So that's the difference. One is kind of temporary, one is for forever. So there's that. So don't get those confused like I kind of did. And then on top of that, so it's either an employee or an independent contractor. There's like 9 different categories that it has to fulfill. So it has to be in one of these, and it has to make sure that both parties sign and are aware that it's a hire contract. And then it also has these 9 categories. So number 1 is contribution to collective work. So it has to be a contribution to collective work. That's number 1. Again, it's one of these. Number 2, it has to be part of a motion picture, audio visual, or a sound recording work. So that's number 2. Number 3 is a translation. That's number 3. Number 4 is supplementary work. Supplements work. Cool. 5 is a compilation. 6 is an instructional text. 7 is a test. 8 is answers to that test. And 9 is an atlas. That is what I got on Works for Hire. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope that was helpful. Thanks.